All right, good morning, everyone. You ever take credit for something that really wasn't your work, or you got credited for doing something well that really wasn't because of you? Well, listen, I think we do this all the time with the Lord. And actually, in Psalm 30, it talks about this very thing. Notice this. It says this, verse 6, Psalm 30, verse 6. In my prosperity, I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by your favor, you have made my mountain stand strong. So he basically says here, hey, I got to this point in my prosperity that basically he was taking credit for the prosperity. And he even says, by your favor, Lord, I you have made my mountain stand strong. So really, the psalmist here is saying, hey, I was at this point where, man, I was taking credit for all of the good things that God was doing for me, and I basically was boasting in it. Now, I think we do this a lot, you know? I mean, think about this. Have you taken credit for the work of your hands? I'm not saying that's completely bad to say, like, yeah, here's the thing I made, or if you worked hard at something, but you have to also realize that if it were not for the ability that God gave you, namely, I mean, this happens because God made it possible, right? Most of us, our hands work, our mind works. And honestly, like if you ever have part of your body that doesn't work, uh, you start to wonder what's going on. Well, it's this psalmist is going to explain just how extreme this is, okay? And I want to say this: if you do some great thing, if you're able to play an instrument beautifully, or create something with your hands, communicate truth, whatever it is, you have to understand that you still need to give credit where credit's due, and all of that by the grace of God. You would not be able to do it if it were not for God giving you that ability. Now notice, so he's going to go on and he's going to say just the opposite. He says, "You hid your face, and I was troubled." Okay, so first the boasting was happening, where God made this psalmist secure, and now he's saying, okay, but then you hid your face, and I was troubled. I cried out to you, O Lord, and to the Lord I made supplication. Okay, so he's saying, I was troubled, you hid your face, I was troubled, I cried out to you. And this is going to explain exactly what happened when God basically hid his face. He says, what profit is there in my blood? When I go down to the pit, will the dust praise you? Will it declare your truth? Hear, O Lord, and have mercy on me. Lord, be my helper. So he's basically saying, God, if you don't help me, I'm dead meat. That's what he's saying. It's going to be the death of me. He's saying, and am I going to be able to praise you from in the tomb? You know what I mean? And when I go down to the pit, when my body is no longer walking the earth, will it? You know, what's going to come of that? And he's basically saying, God, please help me, turn your favor back towards me, because I mean, this is killing me. So I want this to be a reminder, and just it is a reminder in this very point. We don't have a chance without the Lord on our side. But Romans 8 says, if God is for us, who can be against us? Right? We're given favor. When you read the word grace, like in Ephesians 2, 8 and 9, where it says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it's the gift of God, not of works, lest you should boast." That grace, it's talking about God's favor, right? God looking on you and looking on me with favor. We have been given that. It's just handed to us. And we're not going to have to face these circumstances where we're literally saying, "God, I need your favor," because God says, "I'm giving favor. To whoever puts their trust in me, I give them favor." Okay? And so you and I, we don't even have to get to this point. We can just rejoice because we have God's favor. We can rejoice in the reality that our life is being preserved even now, and not just life on this earth, but literally our eternal life has been secured. And when we are trusting in God, or when we put our faith in God, our eternity is settled. And this psalmist is really concerned with making it through today, but we have whatever's going to happen. That may be good, it may be bad, but the day that we step out of this earthly place and into eternity, we are set. And that is the most important thing that needs to be established. And so, to me, this is all just one thing, right? We look to God, we thank God because He has saved us. We thank God because He is working in us, He's working through us. All of this is His grace. And man, that's a glorious thing. So listen, it's Friday. So if you haven't yet, or if it's too early or whatever, plan on watching the Roundup. That's going to be a good time. We have a lot to talk about. There's so much going on. I know we've got things to talk about with Iran, and we have things to talk about with the former Prime Minister of Japan being shot. Not to mention everything else that's going on, all the other insanity. So please watch the Roundup. And if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to my channel. If it blessed you or ministered to you, please leave a comment. Also, if you haven't seen it yet, I would encourage you to take a minute and go watch my CERN video, or the video I did just yesterday about the trap. That's all I'm going to say. You have to watch the video to find out what it's about. So anyways, God bless you, and I'll see you on the Roundup.